Wow. This comes from the Zero Hedge. This is one of those things that make you think. It's called The Coup We Never Knew by Victor Davis Hanson. Thursday, January 5th, 2023. Did someone or something seize control of the United States? What happened to the United States border? Where did it go? Who erased it? Why and how did 5 million people enter our country illegally? Did Congress secretly repeal our immigration laws? Did Joe Biden issue an executive order allowing foreign nationals to walk across the border and reside in the United States as they pleased? Since when did money not have to be paid back? Who insisted that more dollars the federal government printed, the more prosperity would follow? When did America embrace zero interest? Why do we believe $30 trillion in debt is no big deal? When did clean burning, cheap and abundant natural gas become the equivalent of dirty coal? How did prized natural gas that has granted America wishes of energy self-sufficiency and reduced pollution and inexpensive electricity became almost overnight a pariah fuel whose extraction was a war against nature? Which lawmakers, which laws, which votes of the people declared natural gas development and pipelines being near criminal? Why is it not a federal law to swarm the homes of Supreme Court justices, to picket, to intimidate their households in an effort to affect rulings? How then, with the immunity, did bullies surround the homes of Justice Brett Kavanaugh, Samuel Alito, Amy Coney Barrett, Neil Gorsuch, John Roberts, and Clarence Thomas, furious over a court decision on abortion? How could these mobs so easily gather around our justice homes with place cards declaring off with their whatever? Since when did Americans create a government, a ministry of truth? And on whose orders did the FBI contract private news organization to censor stories it did not like and writers whom they feared? How did we wake up one morning to new customs of impeaching a president over a phone call, of the Speaker of the House tearing up the State of the Union address on national TV, or barring congressional members from serving on their assigned congressional committees? When did we assume the FBI had the right to subvert the campaign of a candidate it disliked? Was it suddenly legal for one president candidate to hire a foreign ex-spy to subvert the campaign of a rival? Whoa. Was some state or federal law passed that allowed biological males to compete in female sports? Did Congress enact such a law? Did the Supreme Court guarantee that biological male students should shower in gym locker rooms with biological women? Were women ever asked to redefine the very sports they had championed? When did the government pass a law to deprive Americans of their freedom during a pandemic? In America, can health officials simply cancel rental contracts or declare loan payments in suspension? How could it be illegal for mom and pop stores to sell flowers or shoes during a quarantine, but not sell Walmart or Target? Since when did the people decide that 70% of the voters could not cast their votes on Election Day? Was this revolutionary change the subject of national debate, a heated congressional session, or the votes of a dozen state legislators? What happened to the election night returns? Did the fact that Americans created more electronic ballots and computerized tallies and it takes so much longer to tabulate the votes? When did this nation abruptly decide the theme is not crime, assault, or a felony? When can thieves walk out with bags of stolen goods without the wrath of angry shoppers, much less the fear of law? Was there ever a national debate about the terrified flight from Afghanistan? Who planned it and why? Whatever happened to the once trusted FBI? Why almost overnight did its directors decide to mislead Congress, to deceive judges, and concoct tales from fake dossiers and Dr. Ritz? Did Congress pass a law that our federal leaders in the FBI or the CIA could lie without impunity under oath? Who redefined our military and with whose consent? Who proclaimed that our chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff could call his Chinese counterpart and warn him that the American president was supposedly unstable? Was this always true that the retired generals routinely labeled their commander-in-chief as neo-Nazi? Were Americans ever asked whether their university could discriminate against their sons and daughters based on their race? How did it become physically dangerous to speak the truth on campus? Whose idea was to reboot racial segregation and bias in theme houses, safe spaces, and diversity? What happened in America? How did a virus cancel the Constitution? Did lockdowns rob us of our sanity? Or was it the woke hysteria that ignited our collective masses? We are beginning to wake up from a nightmare to a country we no longer recognize, from a coup we never knew. This is a real good article. Basically what we have here in the United States right now is communism at a gallop. Now we have people in office that undertook to take an oath of office. Any violation of their oath of office should demand that they step down, walk away, or be thrown in jail. You either adhere to what the Constitution says, or you get the hell out of Dodge. Okay, people, I'll put a link to this. You go read this yourself. It's an eye-opener. It makes you think about what the hell's going on in the United States of America. Whatever happened to liberty and freedom, it's gone. Overnight. Or we think it is. They can't take away something like that. You can't like suspend the Constitution. You know, that's what happened to Abe Lincoln. He suspended the Constitution once, and he got killed for it. No one, under any circumstance whatsoever, can suspend the Constitution. It's a law it's law of the people. It's the people's law. Government has no control over the Constitution. You think about that. Only the people.